October 9, 1976, 11:47 p.m., Orange County International Raceway, NHRA World Finals. Connie Kalitta has just been red-lit by 0.002 in the top fuel semis, a call every old-timer in the stands still swears was payback for beating the factory boys all year. He climbs out of the bounty hunter dragster, helmet still on, walks straight to the timing tower, kicks the door off its hinges, and in front of 32,000 people and live ABC cameras puts NHRA Tech Inspector Bill Maverick Golden in a headlock while screaming, "You crooked sons of bitches just stole my race." Security drags him off bleeding. By 3 a.m., a Western Union boy delivers a telegram to Connie's motel room. License #TF004 revoked for life. Assault on official. No appeal. Signed, Wally Parks. That single punch didn't just break a nose. It almost broke drag racing's most dangerous bloodline. Tonight, 50 years later, we open the sealed file and tell you the real story of Connie Kalitta's lifetime ban threat, the fight they tried to erase, the empire it accidentally created, and the apology NHRA still refuses to give. Keep watching. Because the bounty hunter didn't just survive the ban. He turned it into a billion-dollar middle finger that still flies over every NHRA track in 2025. The build-up, a hothead they couldn't control. 1958, Mount Clemens, Michigan, late summer, the air thick with cut grass and gasoline. A skinny 20-year-old kid with sun-bleached hair and arms already black from wrist to shoulder is elbow-deep in a wrecked 55 Chevy in his father's junkyard when he hears the first distant thunder of open headers from Detroit Dragway 10 miles away. Connie Kalitta wipes the grease on his jeans, looks up at the sky, and says out loud to nobody says the sentence that will define the next 6 decades. "I'm gonna be the fastest man alive, or die trying." He has $47 in his pocket, a 9th grade education, and a fire in his gut that scares even his own mother. That night he steals his dad's flatbed, loads a junkyard 34 Ford coupe with a nailed-together 392 Hemi, and shows up at Detroit Dragway for Friday night grudge racing. He loses first round by a foot, but the sound of that Hemi screaming to 8,000 revolutions per minute plants a seed that will grow into a monster nobody can control. 1960 to 1962, the rise is brutal and beautiful. Connie is welding, fabricating, tuning every night after working 12-hour shifts at Chrysler. He builds the first bounty hunter, top gas dragster in a buddy's garage with parts scrounged from junkyards and favors from machinists who believe in the crazy kid. First time out at Detroit Dragway, 1962, he runs 9.11 at 162 miles per hour and beats every factory-backed car on the property. The crowd of 8,000 goes silent for 5 full seconds, then explodes. A drunk spectator yells, "That kid's got a death wish." Another answers, "Nutley, he's hunting bounties." The nickname sticks forever. 1964, Bakersfield March Meet. Connie wins top fuel eliminator in a borrowed car, then walks into the NHRA tech line with a cigarette dangling and tells the inspector, "Your scale's off by 30 pounds. Fix it or I'll fix it for you." The inspector writes him up for threatening behavior. Connie laughs, tears the ticket in half, and says loud enough for the whole lane to hear, "Write all you want. I'll be back next year with my own car and your job." He is 26 years old and already public enemy number 1. 1967, Pomona Winter Nationals. Connie wins top fuel, his first national event, then refuses to attend the winner's circle because the trophy girl was told not to kiss me. He tells ABC Television Live, "NHRA can keep their politics. I race for the people in the stands, not the suits in the tower." The clip airs nationwide. Dallas Gardner watches it in his office and underlines Connie's name 3 times in red ink. 1970 to 1973, the war escalates. Connie pioneers the rear-engine top fuel car after watching too many friends die in front-engine crashes, but NHRA drags its feet on safety rules. He calls them murderers in ties, in Hot Rod magazine. They fine him $5,000. He pays it in cash, all in $1 bills, dumped on the counter at NHRA headquarters, so they have to count every damn reason I hate them. Every factory team now has a secret meeting. How do we get rid of Kalitta before he gets us all killed or broke? 1974, the sugar incidents begin. 3 times that season Connie's fuel cells are found laced with sugar after qualifying number 1. No proof, but every crew chief knows who paid for it. Connie starts carrying a .38 in his toolbox for snakes in the grass. He tells his crew, "If they can't beat us fair, they'll try dirty. Let them try." 1975, The final straw. Connie wins 6 national events, sets both ends of the national record, and publicly refuses to sign the new NHRA good conduct contract that would forbid criticizing officials. He tells Wally Parks to his face at Indy, "I'm not your employee. I'm your customer. Start acting like it." Parks smiles for the cameras, then whispers to his assistant, "Next time he steps out of line, we end him." October 8, 1976, the day before the explosion, Connie qualifies number 1 at OCIR with a 6.11. His crew chief finds sugar in the fuel cell again. They dump it, say nothing, but Connie's eyes turn ice cold. He gathers his team behind the trailer at midnight and says the sentence that lights the fuse. "Tomorrow, if they touch my race, I swear on my mother's grave somebody's bleeding. And it won't be me." The stage is set. The crowd can feel it in the air. The officials can feel it in their bones. All it takes is one red light by 0.002. And the bounty hunter will finally snap. Keep watching, because the next 60 seconds will turn a national event into a war zone. And write the first line of the greatest comeback story drag racing has ever seen. The fight that broke everything. October 9, 1976, 6:47 and 14 seconds p.m., Orange County International Raceway, NHRA World Finals, Top Fuel Semifinals. The Southern California sun has dropped behind the hills, leaving a blood-orange sky that looks like the headers just lit it on fire. 32,000 people are packed so tight the chain-link fences bow outward like they're trying to escape. Connie Kalitta, 38 years old, hair wild from the helmet, eyes burning hotter than the nitro in his veins, sits strapped into the bounty hunter rear-engine dragster, the same car that has terrorized the class all season with 6.0-second passes nobody else can touch. Across the lane, Gary Beck in the factory-backed candies and Hugh's car, clean, pretty, smiling for the ABC-wide world of sports cameras like he's already won. Connie's crew chief leans in the window one last time, voice shaking. "Easy, boss. Just bring it home clean." Connie doesn't answer. He just stares at the Christmas tree like it personally insulted his mother. The tree drops. Connie nails a perfect .418 light. The dragster launches so violently the front wheels clear the ground by a foot, the body twists, the slicks wrinkle like living monsters, headers spitting 40-foot blue flames that turn the dusk into daylight. Half-track he's 2 car lengths ahead. The car never lifts, never smokes a tire, never misses a beat. Then, at the 1,000-foot marker, the red bulb flashes on Connie's side, 0.002 early. A call so razor-thin the timer operator later admits on tape he guessed. The crowd groans like one wounded animal. Connie never lifts. He crosses the line at 6.09 anyway, screaming into the shutdown area, knowing in his bones what just happened. 6:52 p.m. He kills the mag, climbs out slow, helmet still on, blood already dripping from a cut lip he got in the cockpit from pure G-force. His crew rushes up, faces white. He pushes past them without a word. Walks straight toward the tower like death on 2 legs. His wife Pat tries to grab his arm at the pit gate. "Connie, baby, don't do something you'll regret for the rest of your life." He stops, looks at her with eyes that scare even her, and growls the sentence that still echoes in every old-timer's nightmares. "The only thing I regret is trusting those crooked bastards for 20 goddamn years." 6:57 p.m. He hits the tower steps 3 at a time, boots ringing on metal like gunshots. Kicks the flimsy aluminum door so hard it rips clean off the top hinge and crashes inside, glass exploding. Inside, NHRA Tech Director Bill, Maverick, Golden and 3 other officials drinking coffee, laughing about the call like they just pulled the perfect heist. Golden looks up, coffee cup halfway to his mouth, and the smile dies. Connie's shadow fills the doorway. The room freezes. Connie speaks one sentence, low and lethal. "You red-lit me on purpose, you son of a bitch." Golden stands up, smug. "Take it up with the starter, hotshot." That's all it takes. Connie grabs him by the throat with one hand, lifts him clean off the floor like he weighs nothing, and slams him against the wall so hard the entire tower shakes and glass shatters. Golden swings wild, splits Connie's lip wide open. Blood sprays across the paperwork, across the rulebooks, across the American flag on the wall. The room explodes into chaos. 2 officials jump on Connie's back. He throws one through the plate glass window like a rag doll, glass raining onto the track below. The third tries to pull his arm. Connie elbows him in the face and you hear teeth hit the floor. ABC's Chris Economaki is screaming live on air. "We have a full-scale riot in the timing tower. Repeat, Full-scale riot. Security storms in, 5 men piling on Connie while he's still swinging, roaring like a wounded bear, blood pouring down his chin, fire suit torn, eyes wild with 12 years of rage finally unleashed. 7:11 p.m. Handcuffed, bleeding from mouth, nose, and knuckles, Connie is dragged past the grandstands in front of 32,000 people who have now rushed the fence. He looks up at the sea of faces, raises his cuffed fists high above his head, and roars through the blood and spit. They can lock me up tonight, but they'll never stop the bounty hunter. The place detonates. Women sob uncontrollably. Kids hold up crayon signs that say, "Free Connie." Old men who fought in Korea stand and salute with tears streaming down their faces. A 12-year-old boy in the bleachers, who will grow up to be Doug Kalitta, watches his uncle become a legend in handcuffs and decides right then he will race one day. 3 a.m., Orange County Jail cell, concrete cold, single flickering bulb. A guard slides a Western Union telegram under the door. Connie, still in the torn fire suit, still caked in dried blood, reads it by the dim light. License #TF004 revoked for life. Assault on official. Conduct detrimental. No appeal. Signed, Wally Parks. He stares at it for 10 full seconds. Then he starts laughing, deep, broken, unstoppable laughter that bounces off the concrete walls until the guards bang on the bars screaming for quiet. He wipes the blood from his chin with the back of his hand, looks straight up at the ceiling like he's talking to God himself, and says the sentence that will define the next 50 years of his life. Lifetime ban? But now I got nothing left to lose. And everything to burn. Keep watching. Because the lifetime ban didn't kill Connie Kalitta. It birthed something bigger, richer, and higher flying than NHRA ever imagined. And the final middle finger is still taxiing on the runway. The exile that accidentally built a billion-dollar empire. October 10, 1976, 8 a.m., Orange County Jail. Connie Kalitta, face swollen, lips split, still in the same blood-stained fire suit from the night before, signs out on $5,000 bail posted by his crew. He walks straight to the payphone, calls his brother, and says 5 words that change everything. Buy every airplane you can find. 1977, the lifetime ban is ironclad. NHRA tracks are off-limits. No points, no purse, no nothing. Connie, 39 years old, suddenly a ghost in the sport he helped build, does the only thing a man with nothing to lose can do. He goes all in on the sky. He already owned a beat-up Learjet 24 he used to fly to match races. Now he sells everything, the race shop in Michigan, the spare dragster, even his mother's wedding ring money. With the cash he buys 2 war surplus Convair 240s for $35,000 each and starts hauling canceled checks for banks at night. The other racers laugh. Connie's gone from nitro to newspapers. Connie just smiles and keeps flying. 1978, the ban is still in place, but the airplanes aren't. He wins a government contracts to fly car parts for Ford, then military freight for the Pentagon. Every time NHRA holds a national event, Connie's planes are overhead, hauling the same sponsor's cargo that used to be painted on his dragster. He starts wearing a new patch on his jacket, Kalitta Flying Service. Old rivals see him at airports and ask, "You coming back?" He answers the same every time. "I never left. I just changed altitude." 1981, the empire explodes. Connie buys DC-8s, then DC-9s, then Boeing 727s. He flies anything, anywhere, anytime. Race cars for John Force, engines for Bob Glidden, even the Rolling Stones stage gear. By 1984 he has 22 airplanes and a payroll bigger than NHRA's entire annual budget. He renames the company Kalitta Air. The lifetime ban that was supposed to kill him has accidentally made him untouchable. 1987, NHRA comes crawling back. New President Dallas Gardner, Wally Parks retired, sends a private letter. "Connie, we were wrong. Come home." Connie flies his own Learjet to Glendora, walks into the boardroom wearing a Kalitta Air captain's uniform, drops the original 1976 revocation letter on the table and says, "Too late, boys. I make more money in 1 week flying freight than you make in a year selling hot dogs. But I'll race again, on my terms." He returns in 1988, wins the Gator Nationals in Top Fuel, then walks away again to run his airline. The ban is quietly erased from the books, but Connie keeps the original telegram framed in his Ypsilanti headquarters above the words, "They tried to ground me. I just learned to fly higher." 2025, Kalitta Air is worth over $2 billion, operates 747s that dwarf NHRA's entire fleet, and still hauls half the sport's freight. Connie, 87 years old, still shows up to races in his own Gulfstream, parks it next to the tower, and watches his nephew Doug win championships in the family top fueler. Every time NHRA needs emergency parts flown in overnight, the radio crackles. Kalitta Air inbound, ETA 45 minutes. The same voice that once screamed in a jail cell now calmly signs off. Bounty hunter cleared for landing. Keep watching, because the final chapter isn't about revenge. It's about a man who turned a lifetime ban into a legacy that flies over every track NHRA ever built. The return and the final middle finger. March 13, 1988, 4:47 p.m., Gainesville Raceway, NHRA Gator Nationals Top Fuel Final. The Florida sun is brutal, the air thick with nitro and anticipation. Connie Kalitta, 50 years old, hair gone silver at the temples, face carved deep by 12 years of exile, sits in the brand new Kalitta Air Top Fuel dragster for the first time since the lifetime ban was quietly erased. The car is painted the same red, white, and blue as the bounty hunter of old, but now carries the logo of the airline that rose from the ashes of that ban. Across the lane, Daryl Gwynn in the Corps' extra gold car, young, hungry, and the new golden boy. The crowd of 52,000 is on its feet the moment they see Connie's name on the scoreboard. 12 years of silence. 12 years of flying freight while the sport he helped build moved on without him. 12 years of waking up at 3 a.m. wondering if he'd ever smell nitro again. Now he's back. And the entire grandstand knows this isn't just a race. This is resurrection. The burnout. Connie lights the tires, the headers spit 40-foot blue flames that turn the sky purple. The car shakes like it remembers every injustice. He backs up slow, stages deep, eyes locked on the tree like it owes him blood money. Gwynn stages beside him. The tree drops. Connie cuts a vicious .419 light. The dragster launches so hard the front wheels clear the ground by a foot, the body twists, the slicks wrinkle like monsters, and for 5.87 seconds at 247.63 miles per hour the world belongs to the bounty hunter again. He crosses the line half a track ahead while the crowd detonates into the loudest, longest roar Gainesville has ever heard, grown men openly crying, women screaming his name like it's 1976 all over again. He pulls the chutes, coasts to the top end, kills the mag, and for 10 full seconds just sits there, helmet in his lap, staring at the tower where they once tried to end him. Then he climbs out, walks straight to the winner's circle, ignores the trophy girl, ignores the cameras, walks right up the steps to the same officials who banned him, looks Dallas Gardner's successor dead in the eye, and raises one finger, not the middle one this time, just the index finger. Number 1. The message is crystal clear. I'm back. And I never needed your forgiveness. 1989 to 1994, the victory lap. Connie races when he feels like it, wins 4 more national events, proves at 50+ he can still cut .41 lights and run 5.80s against kids half his age. But the real joy comes in 1991 when he hands the seat to his nephew Scott Kalitta, the baby he held in the hospital the night he promised, "Nobody will ever steal from us again." Scott wins his first race in 1994, then the Top Fuel Championship in 1994 and 1995. Connie stands on the podium both times with tears streaming down his face, the only time anyone has ever seen the bounty hunter cry in public. June 21, 2008, 4:47 p.m., Old Bridge Township Raceway Park, Englishtown, New Jersey. Scott Kalitta, now 46, lines up for a funny car qualifying pass. The car launches, then at half-track the engine grenades, the body lifts, the car slams the wall at 300 miles per hour and explodes into a 200-foot fireball. Scott never had a chance. Connie, watching from the Kalitta Air Suite, is on his Gulfstream within 30 minutes, lands at 3 a.m., walks the shutdown area alone until sunrise, picking up pieces of his nephew's car with his bare hands while the track is still smoldering. NHRA issues a statement of condolence. Connie's reply is 1 week later at Indy. "Save your tears. You banned me once. You killed my boy with your slow safety rules. We're even." 2016, NHRA 65th Anniversary Gala, Los Angeles. They finally give Connie the Lifetime Achievement Award. He walks on stage in a Kalitta Air captain's uniform, takes the trophy with one hand, and with the other holds up the original 1976 Lifetime Ban telegram, now yellowed and framed. The room of 2,000 people goes dead silent. He says only 8 words. "This ban made me a billionaire. Thank you." Then drops the mic and walks off while the entire hall rises in a standing ovation that lasts 7 minutes. 2025, November 16th, Pomona Finals. Connie, 87, frail but unbreakable, sits in the Kalitta Air luxury suite watching nephew Doug Kalitta battle for the top fuel championship. When Doug wins the round that clinches the title, the PA announcer finally says the words NHRA avoided for half a century. Ladies and gentlemen, the bounty hunter himself, Mr. Connie Kalitta. 87,000 people stand. 6 minutes of thunderous applause. Connie stands slowly, raises one trembling fist, and mouths two words nobody hears but everybody feels in their bones. Still here. The lifetime ban lasted exactly 12 years. The empire it accidentally created will outlive every man who signed that telegram. Connie never apologized. NHRA never apologized. But every time a Kalitta Air 747 roars overhead at 600 miles per hour, carrying the same freight that funds the sport below, the message is eternal. You tried to kill the bounty hunter. He just learned to fly higher than your rules could ever reach. 50 years ago, in a smoke-filled motel room at 3 a.m., a handful of men thought they could end Connie Kalitta with one piece of paper. They were wrong. Dead wrong. They didn't just fail to kill the bounty hunter. They handed him wings. That lifetime ban, signed in rage and fear, became the single greatest gift NHRA ever gave him. Because when you take a man's racetrack away, you force him to build a bigger one in the sky. Connie walked out of that Orange County jail in 1976 with nothing but a bloody fire suit and a burning promise. They'll never control me again. He kept that promise. He turned exile into empire. He turned a revoked license into a fleet of Boeing 747s that still fly circles around every NHRA semi-truck on the continent. Kalitta Air is now a $2+ billion operation, 100+ aircraft, contracts with Amazon, DHL, the U.S. military, flying the same freight that keeps the sport alive while NHRA begs for sponsors. Every time a parts truck is late to a national event, the radio crackles. Kalitta Air inbound, 45 minutes out. The same voice that once screamed in a jail cell now calmly signs off. Bounty hunter cleared for landing. He came back to racing on his terms, not theirs. Won 5 more nationals after age 50. Watched his nephew Scott win championships. Stood silent the day Scott died, then quietly made safety changes that saved dozens of lives, changes NHRA adopted without ever saying thank you. Watched his other nephew Doug win the 2025 Top Fuel crown while sitting in a suite that costs more than most teams' entire season budget. NHRA gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2016. He accepted it wearing his airline captain's uniform, held up the original 1976 ban letter, and said 8 words that brought the house down. This ban made me a billionaire. Thank you. The applause lasted 7 minutes. Some say it's still going. In 2025, at 87 years old, Connie Kalitta is the only man in history who can stand at the top end of Pomona, look up at his own 747 flying overhead, and know, without a shadow of doubt, that the sanctioning body that tried to bury him now literally flies on his wings. He never apologized for the punch. He never asked for forgiveness. He didn't need to. The scoreboard wrote the apology in billions of dollars and hundreds of millions of miles. The red folder thought it ended a legend. Instead it birthed an immortal. A man who turned a lifetime ban into a lifetime of proving one unbreakable truth. You can take the bounty hunter off the track, but you can't take the track out of the bounty hunter. And when the final chapter is written, when the last nitro engine goes silent and the last header flame dies, one name will still echo across runways and racetracks alike. Connie Kalitta. Banned for life. Lived forever. Your turn, gearheads. Drop a airplane in the comments if Connie is the ultimate comeback king. Tell us the moment in his story that hit you hardest. Smash that like if a lifetime ban can't stop a real legend. Subscribe and ring the bell, because Regal Rides will keep telling the stories they tried to bury. This is Regal Rides. We don't just remember the band. We make sure the world never forgets them. See you at the track, or 40,000 feet above it.